Hi everybody, Holly Duckworth here, Quantum Healing Hypnosis Technique Practitioner Level 3. And I wanted to talk about a hacking the psyche topic, and that is an important psychological process, the process of decision making. Having a strong, robust capability for decision making contributes to a mental healthy state. And so I want to talk a little bit about decision-making processes and how to be healthy in that regard. So 2 specific tips that I want to relay when it comes to decision-making. And I'm not talking about the little decision-making. I'm not talking about, should I buy this coffee or that coffee? Although practicing on little decisions like that can actually make big decisions easier. But I am talking about the big decisions, like, should I spend the rest of my life with this person, or should I make this major investment in this home or this vehicle, or should I take this job, or should I quit this job? What should I be doing with my life? The really, really big decisions. And it's important for us to not get spun up into anxiety or get stuck by not making a decision, by avoiding the decision. We don't want to do that either. So 2 quick tips on how to step into that decision making and how to do it in a relaxed and healthy way. Tip number 1, understand time. When does the decision need to be made? There's a lot of times when we dive in to make a decision when it's really actually very hasty. We have this sense of urgency when it's a big decision. We have this internal thought process that's going on that tends to tell us that we generally need to make the decision before we actually need to make the decision. So don't jump into the decision too soon. On the other hand, some people may procrastinate. They may simply avoid the decision-making process. And then that'll lead us to step 2. But think about the time. So tip number 1 is, when is the right time to make the decision? Is it too soon or is it too late? Understand when the decision needs to be made. And give yourself some time. Sleep on it, maybe sleep on it repeatedly, and take your time making the decision. Don't feel like you need to be rushed into the decision. So that's tip number 1. Tip number 2, and this is for those procrastinators maybe, you have to practice your decision-making method. And so you need to have a decision-making method. So you need to put some thought, some time, some attention into what is your decision-making method. And there's lots and lots of kinds of decision-making method. For some people, that might be going into meditation and tapping into their subconscious and working with the higher self to understand the decision. For other people, it may be very practical. It may be listing pros and cons and analyzing the outcomes of the decision. For other people, they may analyze the risks of the options, and they may be really analytical in terms of understanding the risks associated. For other people, their decision-making process may be, I'll know it intuitively. The answer will come to me. And so find out what your decision-making process is. And you can do that with that coffee. Should I buy this coffee or that coffee? Well, use these little tiny decisions to practice understanding what feels right to you in terms of your decision-making process. And once you have that decision-making process down for yourself and you've practiced it on all the little ones, then utilize that same decision-making process for those big decisions. And it'll be very comfortable and very relaxed, especially when it's at the right time. And so sometimes when we procrastinate in decision-making, it's because we don't have a decision-making process at the ready. We haven't done the internal work, the introspective work to really understand what decision-making process works for us. And so I encourage you to do that before the big decisions come at you. Decision making is a really important part of positive mental health. And so I encourage you to really evaluate these two things when you're faced with those big decisions. Number one, when do I really need to make the decision? When is too soon and when is too late? And then number two, really have a decision-making process at the ready and utilize that process, your decision-making process, what's comfortable and practiced for you to do. Thank you for listening.